Now, 95.9 FM WATD presents Friends with Benefits, exploring relationships, social issues, and life stories. Be a part of the show at 781-837-4900. Friends with Benefits with your host, Brian Stratton.
95.9 WATD. Friends with Benefits here on a Thursday night on the South Shore. And we have a special guest in the studio. It's Phoebe. It's just Phoebe. That's her name, Phoebe. There's no last names here.
No last names.
It's like the mob, you know,
Yep.
Phoebe.
Keep me incognito.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Bri?
Good, thanks. We're going to have you here last week, but of course, you were coming on a boat.
Yes.
From an island. We won't tell you what island it is, but it's an island. It's not Gilligan's Island, all right?
No,
It's
not Gilligan.
But so anyways, you couldn't make it. There was some rough nor'easter.
Yep.
So we had to postpone it to tonight. So we're glad we were able to do that.
I'm glad to be here.
Yep, it's a battle of the sexes tonight, man versus woman here.
All right, bring it on.
And yes, and all the men out there and all the women, we invite you to talk to us at 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900. Another great way where it seems like it's more popular is the CTA management at rocketmail.com. The email CTA management at rocketmail.com. People like to be private out there. They don't like to have their voice on the radio sometimes. So you can shoot us those emails. Want to get a quick shout out to our sponsors to get things started. Obviously, every week, the Lodge Bar and Grill in Randolph, Massachusetts on Route 28. The Lodge, a $50 gift card, CTA management at rocketmail.com. Just give us a, on the subject heading, the Lodge, put that in the subject heading. We'll pull you out of a hat, the winner out of that, and you'll win a $50 gift card. We do it quite often, and there's always a great winner. Everybody's happy about that place. Also, the Longhorn Steakhouse right in Pembroke. There's probably about 15 locations. Is there any on the island? Any Longhorns?
Oh, no.
Okay. No Longhorns on the island, but they're everywhere, and some great steak, great choices. Our buddy Anderson over there is the general manager over at the Longhorn in Pembroke. We have a $50 gift card for you out there, CTA management at rocketmail.com. In the subject heading, put Longhorn winner. We'll draw you out of a hat, and we'll contact you within 5 days if you have won. So lots of exciting stuff, lots of prizes as we're in October. Also, November 14th at the Marshfield Elks, I want to remind you of Jimmy's Jam. And Jimmy's Jam is it's 4 bands, maybe even 5 bands, all to prevent it's National Blood Clotting Awareness Month. Thrombosis is the actual, right? Is it thrombosis?
It is thrombosis.
So tell us about that, because you're kind of a nurse kind of person, right?
So blood clots or DVTs or PEs, they can develop from just inactivity and all kinds of other issues, and they shoot up to your lungs or to your brain. You can have a stroke. So
what I'm hearing in November, it's the awareness month for that. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. November, they talk about blood clots, and there's a fundraiser there at the Marshfield Elks, and Will Naster is heading that with Janine, and that's November 14th at the Marshfield Elks, Jimmy's Jam with 5 bands. Yours truly, myself, you can come see me. I'm going to headline that show. I'll be the last group, the acoustic duo at the end of the night, but there'll be some great music. Jimmy Sylvia, my buddy, I know is going to play before us, and please support that worthy cause. It all goes to that foundation, so let's all gather around and support that. So let's get to what we're talking about tonight. It's male and female relations, which since the beginning of time, cavemen, it's been the most imperfect science. I know in my life it's been imperfect. It gets better as I get older, but before I was younger, it was horrific and insufferable. Phoebes, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Just turning 35 in the last couple of days, and still single. I find it to be kind of a struggle, and not because I'm, like a bad person or anything like that.
No,
it's just meeting the wrong people.
Now let's get started with your, I'll get to your history.
Oh, God.
Not quite yet. Let's go through the issues that you've had, because this is this is really interesting to me. And if you'd like to chime in at 781-837-4900 or just simply email at ctamanagement@rocketmail.com, we'll take your quotes and your questions, and we'll take that into consideration. We'll kind of just go back and forth. But my friend Phoebe here, who regularly likes to post comments on Facebook.
Yes.
And this is that was kind of the impetus to get her in here, as I was kind of parading these posts over the months.
Very opinionated.
And it's good. It's good. They're honest. They're deep thought. I don't agree with a lot of them. Some of them I do. Some I don't. But listen, this is how we're going to hash this thing out. We want to get other people's opinions. But one of them that really hits. I think this is when I think we reached out to each other and said, "Look, you got to be on this show." Is that you had mentioned something about once you kind of get to know a man, or you're with a man for maybe a month or a month and a half, and it's all rainbows and butterflies, you're nice as pie, and then they just seem to be complacent, and just you, as the female, falls off their radar just suddenly. Tell us about that. Give me a little bit more of a concerted effort to kind of just summarize what I just said in your estimation.
Okay, so in personal experience, you think you meet this great, wonderful person, and they woo you, and they say all these wonderful things, and it's the charm, and the you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, and you get sucked in. It's like a vortex. You get sucked into this thing, and you're all butterflies and the lust. And then once you are finally comfortable with them, the minute you're comfortable, they distance themselves. And when they distance themselves, then you think that you've done something wrong.
I see. So give me an idea. Is it a by week? Like, does this happen after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? Generally, is it a quick thing, or is it after 6 months, or?
I find it to be kind of gradual. So if I had to actually put a time on it, I would say over a couple of months. So maybe 4 to 6 weeks, you start to see it kind of get less and less, and then all of a sudden it just kind of, you either have to pull back, and I swear to God, they like it when you are a jerk to them back. If you ignore them, don't text them back, or can I say, if you're a bitch to them, then they all of a sudden they come back. They just fly back. So you give them any attention, they push away, you pull back, and they come back to you.
So you say they respond more to a challenge than a non-challenge.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the word you're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's kind of really get in the X's and O's of this. So are you what do you think their objective is from the get-go? And is it the right kind of person? Are you out there looking for that person that has high integrity, that has intelligence, or are you looking at the local meathead? Is it more optics, or is it a cerebral approach? I need to know this. This really will help the equation. All right, let's talk.
Let's say when I was younger, like teenage, college years, everything was based on looks. If they looked good, had the smile, dressed nice, clean, neat, I was like, boom, that's the guy. And then, it didn't matter if their personality was good or bad. Then it started to shift a little bit, and it was more about, how much they charmed you and all this other stuff. So that's when I started to get into it a little bit deeper, like, okay, this is the guy I like because he's nice and he's this and he's that.
So looks didn't matter as much.
Not as much.
10 years after high school.
I mean, I didn't want them 800 pounds and all this other stuff. That I was kind of skeeved out, but
So basically, I think it's consistent to say girls in high school and college kind of still have that same ideal.
Yeah.
It's very optical.
Yeah.
It's more that, it's the eye test than it is anything else. The integrity, the scruples, any of that stuff. That goes out the window for the most part. But as you've gotten older, you've seen that there's different traits that you're more attracted to.
Different traits, and I have a thing for older guys anyways. I always like guys that are kind of
Now, do you mean older guys you're in your 30s, like 60?
I'm 30.
65?
No, not that old.
Okay, I don't know. I got to check this out.
I would say late.
Sorry, Larry just gave me a look that was priceless.
Sorry, I would say late 40s, early 50s is kind of my range. And
okay, so your prospects of having children right now are not in the equation.
I would love to have kids, and I always have wanted kids. I've kind of pushed that to the back of my mind because at this point in my life, I would rather be happy with a good companion than have that piece. I'm willing to give that up. I mean, the older I get, then I kind of see it less and less as something that's going to happen anyway. It becomes less attainable. So
where do the finances come into this whole thing? I mean, do they have to be qualified?
Their finances are mine.
Their finances. Do they have to be qualified buyers here in in Phoebe's world? I mean, do they have to? Is there a do they have to bring their 2014 W-9s and all that and the taxes? And do you have an accountant look them over and go, okay, he's okay.
Okay,
I'll go out with him.
Okay, let's say that they have to be someone who has a brain. So I respect intelligence. I think that way you have better communication with each other. And at least be working. I don't care what it is.
Serious, though. Come on.
No, I'm serious.
Really?
I'm serious.
So
have
the guy
a job.
makes $40,000 a year as a blue-collar laborer, and but he looks okay and he's charming. You're into that. Yeah.
No. I'm thinking of a creative response because I don't want to sound like a total jerk. Let's say if they work hard and at the same time they're not looking to live off of you, you're not becoming the woman,
cash cow.
A cash cow, exactly.
Sure.
If you're and they show that they care about you and they're they do things, they're helpful, then that makes a difference, and that would trump the $40,000 a year.
Okay, so you could actually swallow that part of it if the other things were. Come on, give me the benchmark. What's the number?
The number,
what do they need to make a year?
I mean, as long as they're, like I said, as long as they're working. I wouldn't want somebody that's
I don't know about that one.
That's working under the table, making $5,000 a year. That would be kind of, because then who's going to be paying for everything. I am.
That's right. Okay, so you do have some standard, but it's not. They don't necessarily have to make six figures.
No.
To be a part of
if they
your
did,
world.
that's awesome. But I mean, it's not what I'm totally looking for.
Yep.
So, yep. What's that mean? That sounded sarcastic.
I know. No, I'm listening. I'm taking this all in. So you're not a man hater but you've lost a lot of respect for the way men go about it.
I think I pick the wrong people. I get treated wrong. And then when I get treated wrong, I get angry about it.
So in this day of age...
but there are good ones out there.
Sure. So what are you looking for specifically, you think, subconsciously?
Let's just say I've been told, and I'm starting to believe this from people that are close to me, family, friends, whatever. I go for guys that are the bad boys, that have issues.
That have issues, yeah.
Yeah, not all.
Harley motorcycle, tattoos, come on.
Yeah, the ones who know how to manipulate, and then they, screw you over.
I get you. So that to you subconsciously. Well, here's another thing: which
if they're a good guy, I think they're boring.
Okay. Yes, but for real?
For real.
Really? So that's a deal breaker for you if they boring does not appeal to you.
And they're probably a wicked good guy,
yes.
And I'll blow them up because of he's too boring. He doesn't have enough excitement. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing fun to discuss, that kind of stuff.
Your phone's blowing up, by the way. I don't know what's going on over here. Is that a million people saying?
Sue.
Oh. So this is people going. Hey, save yourself. Change your
yelling
name.
At me.
What the hell are you doing on the radio? No, but this is intriguing to me because a lot of the time people they go out and do the same thing and expect a different result, of course. Mm-hmm. Like you're kind of your opportunities are limited where you are. Mm-hmm. You're kind of nestled in a corner with the same kind of
island.
Yeah, an island.
The mystery island. We're not going to disclose it.
It's not Fantasy Island.
Not Fantasy Island. No. Not Gilligan's either.
No.
And there's no skipper there.
No. But you have a limited resource pool to choose from.
Unless you come over with people, and I've noticed that people have come there. They've relocated onto the island with family already.
Yes. Yep.
It's very hard to meet people. Not saying it's impossible, because there are people there that have met their significant others there. Mm-hmm. But it is a very difficult single world there.
Okay.
You're very alone, and it's very hard to find someone that is, actually available.
Hey, we got our first email of the night. Matt,
Uh-oh.
Matt wants to know, have you ever filed a restraining order on a man before?
No, I have not.
Okay, Matt, she has not. Is that the truth?
That is the truth.
All right, we'll go for that. I don't know, Matt, if you want to get a little bit more elaborate why you were asking that question, but yeah.
Does he want one filed on him?
He probably has several on him right now. I don't know. So basically, what we're digging out, what we're learning here, first of all, is the pool that you have to choose from is very limited.
Mm-hmm.
Your genre of the man that you're attracted to is maybe not ideal, to say the least.
Right.
By any means.
Right.
What are your expectations too? That's another thing, is what do you expect from these guys? I mean, are you all over them, like texting them 20 times a day after the third week, or really think about this? This is an important one.
Let's say, like, okay, the texting starts on their end, or the calling, or whatever. Modern days, everybody texts. I don't think there's many people that call anymore.
No.
It's like so passé to call somebody.
I don't know what's going on, but no.
Or they blow up your, like, Facebook private message or whatever.
Yep.
It'll be heavy on their end, so then you reciprocate back.
Sure.
And then you start to feel like you're needy by texting to it, so you just totally pull back.
Okay.
And wait for them to text you again, and then you feel like you're getting like crazy sitting there watching, waiting for them to text you again, so then you just have to like put the phone away and go do something else and come back, and then either surprise, they're really into you and they've been, texting you or private messaging you.
Okay.
Or not. And then you kind of know like if they find you to be a priority or not in their life.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. See, one thing that I noticed, and there's another couple of emails as we speak.
They're like, I hate this girl.
By the way, if anybody wants to actually call, which, it's rarity, it's all text and email these days, but 781-837-4900 wants to put in their 2 cents, or CTA management at rocketmail.com. I think I noticed on one of your Facebook posts a little ways back, because you're always very colorful in what you write, and it's most of the time it's hilarious. It's like it's self-deprecating kind of stuff. It's funny.
Okay.
It's almost like a shtick. But you wrote something to the effect, you were at a bar in your little nook, and there was a very handsome 25-year-old guy that you're enamored with, and I don't know. Do you remember what you wrote, or maybe you were 3 sheets to the wind?
That's really, I will look at I will look.
You sound like Bill Clinton. Come on.
Oh my God.
Talk.
I'm not. I will look at the younger ones, but I don't ever pursue them because it's just not what I want.
Well,
if they're especially 25, oh my God, like that to me in my world is wicked young.
Do you think by posting something like that might send a bad message to the other men on your Facebook going, well, I think this guy's really, I mean, to me, if that was me and I was a guy who was single and I was looking at you, it would present a red flag to me. I'm like, oh my God, she's swooning over this 26-year-old bartender. She wishes she could be with him, obviously, and she's writing all this flattering stuff. Was it
after I had all the drinks that I was posting?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's down in print.
You ever see that episode in? Okay, I hate to quote Jersey Shore because it's like the worst quality television out there. But
are you kidding me?
I remember Jay Weil saying something like, good from afar but far from good.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's kind of like what I think.
That's a great one.
They're good from afar. I mean, they're nice to look at, but once you start dating them, you have to deal with all the immature crap, and then that's what kind of steers away. Though rarely you find a young one that is definitely mature for their age.
But what good would that be for a 35-year-old girl at any stretch? I mean, you're not going to find a man a decade younger than you that's going to have any staying power in your life.
Probably not.
Probably. I'd say it's probably 99%.
99%.
Most likely.
Like I said, it's just nice to look at.
Now, putting it onto a post on Facebook, to me, is lethal. It's deadly. Because now you've entered a category of pseudo-crazy or cougar or whatever you want to call it. Because now you've kind of, and that's not it's probably not who you are.
No.
Most likely. But do you get what I'm saying?
And you're probably right. You're probably right that it probably puts off a bad vibe. But at the same time, I guarantee you that was probably after alcohol.
Well, the problem is that somebody's got to take your phone away when you're at the bar.
They do.
They need
I need more wingmen to be in control of my cell phone.
You need to have a secret password on that thing, and only when you hit the bars. No, but you hear where I'm coming from here.
I do.
If you look at all this and what we're going over tonight, and this is a battle. We got Phoebe here, by the way, people in listener land. Phoebe is a lady, a young 35-year-old lady who is works a great job, has a great career, makes good money, and seems pretty tightly wrapped, but has difficulty in relationships with men, looks for the wrong men. And we're trying to really dig deep down inside to find out how this can be changed and to try to change her generalistic view on men.
Should we get more into the history, or is that too TMI for radio?
I would say we get into the history right now because
okay.
That is very relevant. First of all, you had an experience on the South Shore at some point, or in Boston or something in the last couple of years.
Yeah, last couple of years.
Yeah, where you were with somebody who was fairly aggressive, maybe, or why don't you tell the story?
Let's say that it went from what I was describing earlier,
yes.
the charming, good
sociopathic kind of individual, maybe.
You nailed it.
Okay, and so you were enamored by this and got in a relationship with this person.
I really, really, really did truly like him, and
okay. Did you move in?
We won't get into that.
Okay, so that means yes. Okay, so you moved in with him, and then what happened?
Again, we won't get into that.
I just did, but okay.
Let's just say. Okay, well, we'll just leave it at that period.
So we'll continue.
And it just was bad from the get-go, but I kept staying in it. And it just was bad lies, bad lies, until I eventually caught the cheater cheating.
So it was like a page out of that show, Cheaters. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
So this was
and they had the undercover guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you get in the yellow pages or whatever you did, and found a PI. Is that right?
Yes.
And you caught your man in the act on a date or something.
Yep.
Was there actual physical photographs and all that?
Oh, yes.
Really?
So it was supposed to. I know this sounds totally psychotic, but
it does. Yes.
It sounds.
But continue.
It's wicked psychotic.
I'm enjoying it.
It's the most psychotic thing I think I've ever done in my entire life.
Yes.
But that thing that's inside a woman that makes you feel like, oh my God, they're doing something wrong. They're lying. I had to know for myself, and I was hoping that this person was going to come back. This PI person was going to come back. Oh no, he was out with his
crazy.
guy friend.
He was bowling with his buddies.
Yeah,
you're nuts.
And I could tell by his voice when he told me that he was going that he was lying, because it was a stutter, and it couldn't look me in the eye, and that's huge. That's
big
huge.
time. It's the body language.
It's big time body language.
Yes.
And then I just said, hey, I got to know for myself, because I can't go any further with
So
this.
was the PI ready to go? Like before that guy even left, you had all this premeditated,
happened,
obviously.
It was like a Friday night he was going out.
Yes.
And it was like 2 days before he told me about it, and had that stutter to his voice. So I thought about it. I said, I have to do this for myself, because I have to know if it's...
Yes, absolutely. If you're treading your wheels
right.
in the hamster wheel, just yeah.
And when she called me and told me that she had pictures of him with another woman out to eat and all this other stuff, I was just devastated.
Yeah, you were pissed. Yeah.
I was really pissed, because I was at work.
Yeah. No, I know.
And
so
I had to be at work pissed.
Wow, and that's not easy.
Nope.
So long and short of it is, it wasn't like the show where they call you to the actual establishment.
Oh, no, that would have been
bad. You show up and there's a
bad.
bunch of screaming. No.
That would have been bad.
Because that's actually would have been pretty cool.
That would have been like Jerry Springer. That would have been really bad.
That would have been great, Larry. Watching them yell at the 99, that would have been awesome.
I think, Brian, it comes from where you start off in life. Like, okay, my parents had a horrible relationship, and my dad was a chronic cheater.
Well, tell you what, we're going to go on. We're going to take a commercial break.
Sure. We will talk about that.
On the flip side, we're going to get to this. We're going to deep down and get to the bare bones of this. You're listening to 95.9 WATD, Friends with Benefits. We'll be right back.
And anybody in this room that's ever been in love, if you haven't contemplated murder, you ain't been in love. If you haven't seriously thought about killing them, you ain't been in love. If you haven't had a can of rat poison in your head and looked at it for 45 minutes straight, you ain't been in love. If you haven't bought a shovel and a bag and a rug to roll up in, you ain't been in love. If you haven't practiced your alibi in front of the mirror, you ain't been in love. And the only thing that stopped you from killing this was an episode of CSI.
Friends with Benefits will return with your relationship experts on 95.9 WATD.
WATD, Friends with Benefits, here on a Thursday night with Phoebe, talking about all sorts of things relating to relationships, men and women, all that good stuff. 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900, CTA management at rocketmail.com. Lots of emails coming in tonight.
Nice.
Yes. So one of the guys that asked, has Phoebe ever really been in love? I mean, first of all, this is from a guy named John. That's, I'm sure that's personal. You can say not, but
sure.
My question is, in several books I've read, women and men treat love differently, what I've known. Not all women, not all men. It's a generalization, but some women like the feeling of love. Do you follow what I mean? They like the feeling of being in love, or that overall kind of image of it. But are they really in love? You follow me?
I think there's you have to make the clear distinction between lust and love too, because when you first fall for somebody, it's all the lust stuff before it actually is legitimate love. And you have to know that love is more than just that giddy feeling that you get. It's actually doing things for the other person and being there for them, and no matter what, you always accept them, kind of thing.
Sure. And it's funny because to me, women are the strangest kind of. I mean, really, because I've had female friends through the years, and have you ever had a friend who's a male or in my case, a female, where they certainly want more out of you than you want to give them? You want to be just friends, and they don't want that.
Yes. I think 90-something% of my friends are all guys, and there's.
So what's the percentage of those guys that would want to?
Honestly,
half?
Probably 70 to 80% of them are like my big brother.
Okay, so they're not interested.
Right, and then the other percent is probably people we go back and forth with a banter, but nothing ever really happens. It's always you kind of just.
But they would be interested, but you're trying to keep it at a friendship level?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you my estimation in my past, my experience. I've had, a handful of those situations and I try to explain to maybe the female, look, we'd be better off friends, because if we ever went the other way, we'd probably last 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. But if we stay friends and friendly, we'll be friends forever. So then we can value each other and kind of get those good times. Women are so warped. They're so warped that they're actually attracted when you say something stupid like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They think that's like a line from a movie, and I'm like,
it's like a Notebook scene all over again.
Whatever it is. I'm like, listen,
Titanic, you're gonna see it.
I'm just giving you the basic blueprint of how this thing works. If you want to be buddies and talk about fun stuff and keep that other stuff out of it, which that's what I want.
Right.
I want to keep the other stuff out of it. Just be buddies.
Right.
Then this is going to be a long-lasting friendship. For a long time. Even if you don't talk for 2 years and you bump into each other, you're still buddies.
If you think about it, though,
you cross that line, you're going to bring in those crazy feelings.
If you think about it, the best relationships probably develop from a really good friendship. So if it did cross the line in a good way and it became a relationship, it probably would be a healthy one, because it started as friends and it wasn't just sex and all this other stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
Happy Thanksgiving, boys. How are you tonight anyway?
We are so good. I can't wait to get my turkey basted.
I can't wait to stuff something, too. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's an excerpt of our buddy Bruce. Now, Bruce was a guy from Cohasset that was very confused. He was married in Cohasset, and he divulged on our show that he was coming out of the closet.
Oh, my God.
It was live on the air on 95.9.
It's Caitlin.
Oh, it was worse than Caitlin. How about another little quip of Bruce? We got to hear.
I bet that guy Mark's there. I haven't seen him, but I heard that he's got some big killer biceps.
So that's Bruce, and Bruce. Yeah, it's funny because he was a woman hater too, by the way.
Oh.
And every sense of the word. So he came out on our show live, and it was really a touching moment where he said,
And is he happy now that he's converted?
We never heard from him again because I think his wife to be basically derailed any phone calls from
moved to
Bruce. We
another
never
country.
heard of Bruce. He was a regular caller. We got somebody on the line, I believe. Hello, caller.
Hey, it's Sue, guys. How are you?
Hey, how are you,
Susie.
Sue? I bet you
How
want
are
to.
ya?
I bet you want to chime in on this subject.
Oh, I'm so on this. I can't believe you didn't invite me in, Brian.
Well,
I'm hurt.
Well, you don't think Phoebe's been holding her own on this thing? She's
She's doing awesome. She's doing great. I'm actually calling for her because I just wanted to let you know from what I know with Phoebe.
No names about anything, okay?
Oh, please.
All
stop
right.
it. I'm not that dumb.
Okay.
Well, how dumb are you,
Okay.
Sue? How dumb are you?
I'm doing great. Great.
I
No, he said, how dumb are you?
Oh, how dumb am I?
Yeah.
I stay blonde for a reason. I get away with it.
Okay, so shoot, we're all ears.
Okay, so with Phoebe, right? She hit it on the head with what she's attracted to the younger version. You know, the man. We all have that tendency to kind of check out the guy that looks good, and I understand that whole thing with the bad boy image. And we all, I think, have been guilty in the past. I know me at the ripe age of 48, I'm definitely single, but that's my choice. I have no time for a man in my life right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
But with Phoebe, everybody, as far as a companion goes, her standards are so high that it's just so difficult for her to find a relationship. And that's another question. Where does she find this relationship?
Well, certainly not on an island, Sue.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with that.
I mean, she
did
might.
that, I think.
Even if she went to the Cayman Islands, she might not find that guy. But let me tell you, Sue.
Not on the island.
This was a question I brought up to her a while ago. What was her standard? Is she over? I don't know. Is she really micromanaging this? Is she looking for too much? Is this an unattainable person?
Right.
That she's looking for. Does
We
this
all
person
are.
not exist?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
we all are. I think some people have their goals in a realistic place, but a lot of women though, listen, the guy's got to look like Tom Brady. He's got to make $20 million a year. He's got.
Yeah, I wasn't with her on the money thing at all. Me and her are totally opposites with that one.
Why,
the reason
you look
being,
for the cash?
the money. A guy who makes good money, I am attracted to because that shows his character. That shows that he's a hard worker. He wakes up in the morning, gets up, gets to work, and works hard, and makes a great living. That shows a great character.
He can work hard and make $40,000 a year, though.
That's true, Phoebe.
That's not on my payroll. That's not.
40. So listen, what if he embezzled all that money from like Enron or something? Well,
He's drug trafficking in Mexico or something.
yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of guys that
Guys-
make a lot of money that are bad dudes too.
Keep it simple, though. We're talking like a guy who's, somebody who's done a very good job on, like I have a client that I train who is a developer. He's done a very good job. He's 64 years old. He doesn't know I'm talking about him right now, but he's asked me out a few times, and you know what? Never in my life would I consider going out with a guy in his 60s. But guess what? I would go out with him because he's so successful and he's such a nice guy. I'm attracted to him.
Well, Sue, you better bring the Viagra. That's all I can tell you.
I think I do. I think I might have to.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, this is 60
And guess
years
what?
old.
Guess what? He won't be around that much longer either.
Yeah,
And
there
I'm
you go.
He
So
still
you-
has his own
Win-win.
teeth.
So you'll get the full scholarship from that guy. Yeah, I'm sure. We're gonna keep you on the line. There's somebody else on the line. Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hi, I have a question.
Hey, what's the
Sure.
question?
Okay, so if a guy has a female friend and they're very, very, very close and he cares about her and none of the other stuff, like you said, just friends, what happens if that woman has other intentions? Like if she is keeping it on a friendship level, but she really desires him or loves him or wants him on some level, and the guy ends up, having a different girlfriend, meets someone else, and gets into a relationship with someone else, and now you have this third party, this legacy female friend that's really entrenched with this guy. I mean, how does that work? How do people sort that out?
Did you ever have a talk with him about how I mean, is this you? I don't know if it's you or you don't have to say, but did this woman have a talk with him to say how she feels about him at any point before he started dating him? Maybe he had no clue that she liked him in that way, and that's why he moved on to another person.
Right. So I think that he knew that she felt that way about him, but he didn't want her that way, so he kept it at a friendship level, even though she wanted more. And my opinion is that that's just hurting the woman that wants him by keeping the friendship alive. And it's also because they're so close, beyond a normal casual friendship, it's interfering in his new relationship with somebody else.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, Lisa. But so has he ever misled the friend? The friend, has he made her think that something might happen romantically with the friend?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Because really, to me, it's all the communication. It's all communication, 100% communication. If the woman's asking the right questions, and maybe she's not asking the questions because she doesn't want to know.
Good thinking. Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe he likes the banter that he has between two chicks, the triangulation thing. He's got, two girls that are crazy about him, and he can kind of play one and the other, and he's, it's like an ego thing. I don't know. I mean, that's just personal opinion. I don't mean I'm right or wrong, but... Yeah,
Lisa, it sounds like a quagmire to me.
A quagmire.
No, but literally in the sense of the word.
It's like, it begs the question now, the question for, that I ask is, how does anybody know going into a new relationship, what's the next step? When someone says, yeah, I got female friends, or yeah, I got male friends, how do you know? Nobody sits down and says, okay, well, this, and that is normal or acceptable. People just don't talk about it, and then these things come up.
Do you want to know what I'd do? I'd buy a polygraph. I'd buy a lie detector, that polygraph thing, and make them and just put them through the test. Why not?
You are
Let's
not
see what they're
the
made
father.
Of. Let's see what. It works for Maury Povich.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think, Lisa?
I like it.
All right. Well, you know where to go to. They get them at Walmart. Thanks for calling the show. So, Sue, back to you. I think we left it at you like 60-year-old guys, and that's really disturbing to me.
It's not that I do, Brian. Don't misquote me. What I'm saying is I think I've matured as I've matured. As Phoebe said, we were all checking out the young guys, and now it's wait a minute. What does this guy have inside? He's a great guy. You're right about the age situation. I'm sure it's that part.
Crazy, yeah.
Sue, do you find that with the younger guys, they just don't know how to, I don't know if it's the charm or the courtship with a girl as much as the older guys. The older guys have a different way
I went out
about
with a 20. All right, this is a secret, but I guess not now. I went out with a 25-year-old.
No names, and it's not a secret.
Just because he asked me out, I wouldn't stop, and I said, all right, what else am I doing? All right, I'll go out.
So you went out with a 25-year-old?
Yeah, I did. He kept asking me, and I was like, what is this kid? So I went out just to eat with them, and I was so bored that I really wanted to just run out the door.
Really?
There's no conversation, nothing. I was embarrassed that I even went, and I was just like, this is not good. So
yeah.
I think that, that's not even an option. Like you said, the staying power, Brian, 90%. It's more like 110% no.
Right.
Yeah, because Sue,
I agree, though. I totally agree with that, Sue. And
you were looking for a candlelight dinner, and he wanted to play Nintendo. It's like...
That's it.
Well,
seriously.
No,
you're playing chess, and he's playing checkers.
In that situation, so.
No, but the point is, Sue, is that's a 23-year age difference. that's a road to nowhere.
Well, that's Ashton and Demi. I mean, think about it.
Well,
they
right,
were
but
together
look
for a
at
little bit, but
you know
I
what?
mean,
The minute that relationship started, okay, the minute it did, it seemed the media made them look like they were more people so in love, and I said to myself, probably 10 years, and when that dissolves in 10 years, she's going to be a wreck and she'll be on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what
that's
happened?
true, right?
It happens every time. So just look in your little crystal ball. We got Sam on the line. Hey, Sam, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, so let me ask you a question. Do you like the men in their 20s or their 60s?
Neither. Late 40s to early 50s.
So where are you, Sam? How old are you, Sam?
I heard you like that 68-year-old guy.
Oh, that's Sue.
Been a gold digger.
That's Sue.
Hey, Sam, bring your financials while you're at it, all right?
Yeah, okay. Sue, you sound like you're hot.
Oh, well, thank
All
you.
right. Well, we're going to talk. We'll talk to you later, Sam. We appreciate that call.
That was scary.
Yeah. See, so Sue, how do you feel about 60-year-olds now?
I'm scared. I didn't want to go back to 25
So you've learned something tonight from Friends with Benefits on
Brian,
ATD.
see, now this is all messed up. Now I know why I'm alone. I need to be alone.
Now, Phoebe's been able to educate you in the last 5 minutes what you needed to learn the last 20 years.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you, Phoebe.
You're welcome.
Hey, well, thanks, Sue, for calling the show. We
Hey,
appreciate
no problem.
it.
Keep up the good work. I'll
Yeah.
finish listening to you guys.
See you
Thanks.
later, girlfriend.
I had to get
Thanks
her.
for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I got to get her off the line. I don't need any more Sam's calling. Oh, my God. Was that really his name?
I don't know. It's an alias.
He sounded very charming, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's no spring chicken. Anyways, so Phoebe, we're getting to the end of the show. What else do you want to get out there to men? What do they need to do to win you over?
It sounds like so cliche, but open, honest. Treat the girl right and go slow. Like,
Yeah,
don't
you're right.
be all about
You're right. It does sound cliche.
jumping into the sack or all that stuff right away. Just really take your time
Yeah.
and
Wait 2 dates. Yeah, I know.
wait 2 dates.
I get it.
How about at
Yep.
least 2 months?
Okay.
At
so
least,
what?
and it might even be extreme, but nowadays.
No, I mean it depends. If you only see him twice in 2 months, yeah, that's extreme. But so long and short of it is, moving forward, what will you do different?
I guess.
I mean, you just heard from Sue.
I guess I have to be a little more open myself, and anybody that comes my way, at least give them a chance before
Yes.
completely judging them off the bat. And it's harder than it sounds, because it's just.
What makes you judgmental about these individuals when they come up to you? Like Sue said, you had such a high standard that you're just putting yourself into like a category that doesn't exist.
If it's
Do
not.
you agree with that in a way?
Yeah.
That you're super
It's like I have
super picky.
like a list of things, a criteria that I
Right.
have to meet.
Yeah.
And I've been slowly trying to back up. I'm like, the looks thing is not as important anymore, but it's like kind of halfway there. It's not like it was.
Okay.
And then the money thing, like, that's gone way down the toilet. Like, it honestly is coming down because the older I get, the more I'm like starting to check things off. And
Plus, you're making good money yourself, so that's why you could
I
support
get
yourself.
nervous. I get nervous that someone's going to want me to be like their cash cow.
Right. Well, that's what men have
I
to
do
deal
get
with.
nervous.
That's what men deal with all the time, though.
They do
So
deal
why
with
is
it,
it
and
different?
I
Why is
feel
it any
I feel
different when you-
bad. I feel bad. I really
do. Feel bad. You look like you feel bad.
No, I really do
All
feel
right.
bad.
All right.
That,
Well, that's
that
what men have
sucks
had
for
to deal
them.
with
It
for
really
decades
sucks for
and
them.
decades and decades.
I know, and
They've been
that
dishing out
sucks for
half
them.
of their property. I mean, I know guys that got married for 4 years, paying alimony for 15. It's crazy. It's insane. But they go into it with eyes wide open.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yep.
And we all do.
Yep.
When it comes down to this, you got eyes wide open. You can quality control the situation. It's just up to you if you do so or not.
Right.
So I think we're up against the clock, right, Larry?
We are.
Well, thanks for being here, Phoebe.
Absolutely.
We'll get you
Shake
on the
on
show once again when we
definitely
tackle
will come
this
back.
subject. Thanks for all the callers, and you're listening to 95.9 WATD Friends with Benefits. We'll see you next Wednesday night at 9.
Friends with Benefits will return on 95.9 WATD.
Giggity, giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.